Attention, Browns fans. A risky signing could cost Cleveland dearly. And we're talking about a receiver who was once a Pro Bowler and now literally needs to shut up to avoid losing his last chance in the NFL. Meanwhile, off the field, the most media-savvy name on the roster has found himself in a new controversy that raised red flags even before training camp began. There's plenty of talent, but a lack of maturity. Welcome. Show your support for the Browns by hitting 100 likes on today's video. Diontae Johnson joined the Cleveland Browns with a name loaded with talent and problems. Fans are eager to see if the former Steelers wide receiver can still perform at a high level. But the Ohio media has been straightforward. If Johnson wants to stay in the NFL, he's going to have to completely change his attitude. And quickly. Mary Kay Cabot, the most influential journalist covering the Browns, didn't hold back. The orders are clear. Shut your mouth, cash your checks, no matter how small they are. Catch the ball, accept coaching, and be a good teammate. Above all, don't be an idiot. It's hard to be more clear than that. What led Diontae to this situation? In 2021, he was a Pro Bowler for the Pittsburgh Steelers, with 107 receptions and over 1,100 yards. But since then, his career has spiraled into a series of poor decisions, questionable attitudes, and disappointing production. Stints with Carolina and Baltimore were forgettable, topped by an emblematic incident where he refused to take the field in a Ravens game because he had cold legs? Unbelievable. This behavior was the last straw for Baltimore, which suspended him and then cut him. The market turned its back on him. Literally. Johnson admitted that the only team that reached out to him during free agency was the Cleveland Browns. And even then, it was for a minimum contract of $1.17 million, a symbolic amount for a player who 2 years ago was fighting for million-dollar renewals. For the Browns, it's a calculated gamble. The receiving core has Jerry Jeudy as the main name, but behind him, the competition is open. Cedric Tillman, David Bell, and still inconsistent young players. The path for Diontae to become a starter exists. He just needs to want it. But that might be the most delicate question. Does he want it? Does he understand the magnitude of the opportunity he's receiving? Because he still has talent. Even amidst the chaos of 2024, he scored 3 touchdowns and showed flashes of his old explosiveness. But in the NFL, no one survives on talent alone. And the Browns are making that very clear. The franchise doesn't want internal controversies. The Cleveland locker room is one of the most balanced in the league and does not tolerate misconduct. Kevin Stefanski has neither the time nor patience for babysitters in the middle of a competitive season. Diontae will have to earn his place with silence, sweat, and the ball. In training so far, he seems more focused. Short statements, no controversial interviews, focus on the work. But will this last until October, when he doesn't get 10 targets per game, or when he is sidelined after a critical drop? Diontae Johnson is at a breaking point. Either he rebuilds his image now, in Cleveland, or he joins the long list of wasted talents in the NFL. And if Johnson needs to prove he can be reliable on the field, another Browns player needs to learn a basic lesson: off it. Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders and one of the most media-savvy figures on the roster, made 2 mistakes in a row that raised the red flag, even before the first snap of the preseason. Now the question is direct. To what extent does talent compensate for immaturity? Shedeur Sanders was selected by the Browns in the 5th round of the 2025 draft as a development project. Coming from the University of Colorado, with celebrity status inherited from his father and a constant digital presence, he arrives in Cleveland to learn, to grow, and it seems also to make mistakes. In recent weeks, Shedeur's name has been back in the headlines, not for brilliant plays but for run-ins with the law. The quarterback received 2 speeding tickets, driving over 100 miles for more than 160 km/h, and even failed to appear at a court hearing. The result? Public criticism, questions about his maturity, and even proposals for severe sanctions. Columnist Justice B. Hill was blunt. Sanders should lose his driving privileges. He can take an Uber. The community can't trust him behind the wheel. It's the kind of negative exposure that no rookie needs, especially one already being asked to show more discipline and focus than flair. Shedeur's situation within the Browns roster was already fragile. He enters a group with Deshaun Watson as the established starter, Jameis Winston as an experienced backup, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson fighting for space. That is, before the likely cut. The margin for error is minimal. Worse, Sanders isn't just another rookie trying to prove his technical worth. He is a public figure with hundreds of thousands of followers, constantly scrutinized due to his connection with Deion Sanders. Every misstep becomes national news. The coaching staff has made it clear the focus is on the field. And so far, in practice, Shadir still seems raw. The arm strength is impressive, but game reading and accuracy on the run need a lot of work. He looks much more like a long-term project than a real threat on the current depth chart. But when a player shows no improvement on the field and complicates matters off it, the warning signs are inevitable. The NFL has seen dozens of promising young players vanish from the radar due to immature behavior, and Shadir is just 2 steps away from entering that statistic. For the Browns, it's a matter of organizational culture. Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry have built a solid foundation in recent years, betting on disciplined, intelligent, and focused players. Sanders' arrival may have been a 5th-round gamble, but that doesn't exempt him from following the same rules as everyone else. If he wants any chance of establishing himself in the NFL, Shadir Sanders needs to understand that his father's name doesn't play on the field. What matters now are decisions, both on and off the field. The Cleveland Browns are at a delicate balance between risk and reward. With Deontay Johnson, the bet is on a proven talent that needs to change his attitude. With Shadir Sanders, the challenge is to shape a promise before it turns into frustration. Both represent more than individual issues. They are direct tests to the culture and focus of a team that wants to win now. Now it's up to you, Browns fans. Would you give a second chance to Deontay and Shadir? Or is it time to cut those who can't seize the opportunity? Comment below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the Browns news leading up to Week 1. Until next time.